what we have here is Seeking Alpha. Seeking Alpha is an online publisher and analysts when it comes to various stock prices within the PV industry, so module manufacturers, inverter manufacturers, racking and whatnot. If they've got an international portfolio, either on the London Stock Exchange or a New York Stock Exchange, the companies like Seeking Alpha are writing about them. We've been deemed as per Seeking Alpha, we've been deemed as in the top 10 suppliers globally. In terms of shipments, we are one of the biggest. And when I say shipments, we're going, I'm talking about even wafers with modules together. Most of you here all know about Photon. You probably look at it all the time. Also probably show it to all of your customers all the time as well. With the latest score from the FEHB issue from last year's annual yield, we scored a 93.1%, which gave us the 8th place there. And within that list, there's you got manufacturers as well as smaller designers as well as smaller engineering groups. So if you were to specifically cut down that list to mass market manufacturers, we'd probably be in the top 3. And but even so, 8th place, as you know, 8th place on the Photon is really good. Now, Accelios Solar, they are a manufacturing audit firm, and they're based out of Germany, and they travel around with their auditors to the various manufacturing sites of the various PV manufacturers of, again, modules, inverters, racking, and whatnot. And what they issue and what they provide as a service to the manufacturers is a bankability report and a Tier 1 status. So, for example, let's say there was a solar company here in Melbourne, and they wanted to do a solar farm, and they had a power purchase agreement, and they wanted to sell electricity. There are a fair few companies locally who've just acquired their licenses, and if you wanted to go down that line and get that farm running, it's in terms of your financial backing and actually setting that up and having the money to put down in the beginning as an investment, because you're only going to get your return after you start selling the electricity. So not every company has that kind of funds. So what you're going to do is probably go to a bank and ask for finance to support your program with this solar farm. The first thing your bank's going to ask you is, I want to see a bankability statement from each one of your suppliers. So that's for the racking, your modules and your inverters. So this is where Accelios Solar come in. They come in and they assess all of our factories. And they're normally at our site for about 3 weeks. They check every single part of the process, and they look at things in terms of manufacturing, in terms of volume, whether whether our factories can cater to the various orders out there in terms of megawatt kind of orders, and maintain supply to, I guess, to all the other countries at the same time, and to meet the needs of those massive projects. So they basically give the okay and the tick, and they also give us what's called where we are qualified and certified as being bankable, which means we have a strong financial caliber backing the enterprise. So through because when you do like a megawatt or a half a megawatt order, you're not going to be installing that on one day or over a week. You're installing that over a couple of months. So it's a matter of being consistent and sending you those volume of containers either on the weekly or the monthly basis to finish up your project. And they certify us that we can do that. Now, only 5% of various manufacturers globally get an 85% or higher rating. We've scored 91%, scoring us the Tier 1 status. And this is specific to all of our manufacturing globally. Bloomberg, most of you might have seen their brand. They are one of the biggest publishers in terms of looking at the various companies globally in terms of their finance and their financial background and their financial caliber. They have a new division called New Energy Finance, which is specifically only looks at renewables, whether it be solar, wind, hydro, or even geothermal. They also have their own Tier 1 rating, again looking more on a financial perspective and on the background of the enterprise. This document, it's about 4 to 5 pages, and they've got every single Tier 1 company on there, out of which I think there's about 30 odd companies on there, which I think maybe about 7 supply here in Australia. With Bloomberg, they deem us as well as tier 1, as a module within the PV module maker tiering system.